Hello, this is Yvette, and thank you for joining me for another session of Face to Face on the Couch. Part 2 of Self Love. Today we're talking about meditation and the benefits of meditation. Now, let me just first say meditation is like exercise, only it's like mental exercise. It is practicing using that right side of your brain that deals with creativity, imagination, and expression. Just like the left side of your brain deals with the more logical, day to day, physical, hardcore show me before I believe it kind of thing. So, meditation, in looking at it that way as an exercise, it trains you to get out of your own way. What do I mean by that? I mean, it helps you get into a state of mind where you open up to accepting things and the way they happen, being the way they need to happen, into understanding and accepting that things are just the way they need to be and they're happening just the way they need to happen for your own good, to grow, for growth, and also for the good of the people who are around you that you impact. So, meditation is not just for the woo woo, and it's not just a thing that people, monks on the mountaintops, do, or is done in Eastern philosophy. There is a method and a purpose for it. So before I get into all the benefits of it, let me kind of help you understand um, what it works for. So it's when we're so busy and we're so stressed every day with trying to figure out how to pay the bills, figuring out, what our next move is going to be, to figure out how we're going to take care of our families or children, or to figure out where we're going to find that next mate, or that perfect love match, or soulmate, as people call them. We're so busy every day in our brains trying to figure that out, and we get in our way because we feel the lack of, we feel that it doesn't exist or it's not there. And when you feel that way, that's what you put out into the universe, is I don't have whatever it is I'm looking for. And so you create this sense of lack, and when you create the sense of lack, the universe responds to that, and it creates more of that lack. Or in other words, it shows you externally that your belief is being confirmed, is basically what it's doing. So when you meditate, you get out of your own way. You get out of those thoughts and beliefs of lack. You get out of those thoughts of, I got to do. I have to go. And you get out of those thoughts of, I don't have what it is I'm looking for, whether it be a mate or money or a job, whatever it is, whatever you are desiring. And so it allows you to go in that space, in a sense, a void, a null space, a neutral space, and create that sense of just being, and just everything is perfect as it is. Everything feels good just right where you are. And when you create that, when you go into that space, you open up. You no longer are thinking about what you don't have. You're no longer thinking about who you don't have, right? And so you're able to just be at peace, and you're calm, and in that space you are complete, you are full, you are totally whole. You are in need of nothing. And so because you go into that space and you create that sense and that feeling, that energy goes out into the universe as well, and the universe responds to that. And what happens, or what you'll find happening, is things will start to just come to you. Things will just start to kind of flow to you. Now, it takes time, it takes practice. Everything is a process. Everything is a process. Nothing happens overnight. You didn't gain that weight overnight. You didn't that relationship didn't go bad overnight. You didn't lose your hair overnight. You know what I mean? Like, there was a process that happened before all of that actually showed itself to you or manifested itself in your life. And so what you have to understand is meditation puts you in that space where it gets you started. It gets you to start moving into that space of not feeling so much lack, not feeling so much of a void. And so because you start to feel completely whole, you start to feel full, you start to feel like you're not missing anything, you start to realize that you're at peace internally, inside, then the outside will start to reflect that. And so once you reach that place, it has to respond that way. That's just a law. That's a universal law. And we'll go through that at some point in some other shows, or in another show. But the universe says, oh, she's at peace. Let me bring more things that show you you're at peace. Let me bring you that person, that peaceful person or a peaceful situation. Let me show you that person that is loving you the way you're loving yourself, right? And so it all puts you in a place of receiving that peace that you obtain when you meditate. And so, it's a wonderful thing to do. It can be easy. It does not have to be hard. You really can do it if you've ever tried it and it didn't work. And that's a question I posed before this show was, have you ever meditated? And if you have, how'd it go? And if you stopped, why'd you stop? And if you weren't able to do it, why do you think you weren't able to do it? What was the barrier? And, I wanted you to kind of think about that. And I want you to think about that continuously. Try doing it and seeing how it works for you. Now, you must do it consistently. If you can do it one night and then you don't do it the next night, you must do it consistently. It has to be done, and it's sort of a building kind of thing. It's like I said, it's like building muscle. You're training yourself to resonate in that space of peace and calm and wholeness and abundance, right? You're training yourself to get out of that worry and stress and that constant going, and I have to do everything. Some things you take action, but it's inspired action, and then you move on and you allow things to line up the way they need to line up. So for example, something's not going right financially, or your relationship is not going well, right? We tend to blame the other person. Well, it's their fault because they're doing these things. But they're only reflecting the inner turmoil that you have going on inside of yourself. They're only reflecting the uncertainty, the fear, the insecurity, the anger, the frustration that you already feel, whether it be about them or about work or about any other thing or situation that you may be dealing with. It's a reflection. So when you go within and you meditate, and that's what going within is, you can call it prayer, call it whatever you like. Whatever you like, whatever works for you is fine for me. It all comes to and does the same thing, is that it puts you in that space of calm and quiet and peace, and you don't feel uncertain, and you don't feel insecure, and you no longer feel like you're missing that mate, and you're not in an argument with anybody, right? You're just in peace. You're just being. And that gets your left brain or logical brain that's thinking out of the way, so that your right brain, your creative side, your imaginative side, the spiritual side can take over and begin to neutralize some of the things, some of the negative, or some of the, and I don't say negative and positive anymore, but some of the unwanted thoughts that you've been having. It has the opportunity to neutralize those things and then create a space where, you can now bring those things to you and open up to those things that you weren't able to open up to before. It puts you in a space of receiving instead of thinking. So people think that when you meditate, you're supposed to shut off everything. You're not supposed to think about anything. No thoughts come through. You're just quiet. It's just quiet. The brain's not built that way. The brain is built to process, to respond to things, to think. That's what it's built for, and it does its job very well. But what you have to do is train it to do what you want it to do. And by meditating, you can train it. Just like you train your muscles, just like you train yourself to ride a bike or anything else, you train your brain to do what it needs to do in terms of quieting itself. Now, you quiet the left side thinking brain, but you awaken and arouse the right side imaginative, spiritual, creative side of the brain. So when you do that, thoughts are going to come in, and that's okay. You're still going to have interference sometimes from the left side. You're going to think things, but just let them go. Don't hold on to them. And in letting those go, you open up to now receiving messages versus thinking. So you can tell and you'll feel when you're receiving a thought versus when you're thinking a thought. Now, let me kind of give you an example, and I'm sure you felt this before. You'll be sitting somewhere doing something that has nothing to do with whatever it is, whatever the thought is that pops into your mind, or whatever the answer is that pops into your mind right at the time. You'll be sitting somewhere doing something else. They say you're at work and you're working on something, all of a sudden you go, oh my God, and a light bulb seems to come on, and you go, wow, why didn't I think about that before? I know now I can fix that with this, right? Or now I know I can do that instead of doing this, for whatever it is. But it has nothing to do with the job that you're currently working on. It has to do with a problem or an issue or a situation that you've been thinking about or dealing with. And so the reason that pops in that way is because you're no longer thinking about it. Now your mind is on something else, and it allows that answer to come through. And that's exactly what meditation does. It gets your mind someplace else so that you can allow the answers to anything that you've been dealing with to come through. And it's amazing how it works. It works for anything. It doesn't matter what it is. The application is the same. When you're feeling frustrated, try to meditate. If you can't meditate, just sit down and try to go out, go for a nature walk, go work out, go watch something funny, but do something that takes your mind away from whatever it is that's challenging you or troubling you. And you will find that the more you do that, the more you train your mind to do that, and it'll do it on its own. It'll just automatically, just instantly do it. And you will be able to get the answer to things a lot easier and a lot quicker. The other thing that you'll be able to do is it will get you in a state of expectation where, I don't have to fight with this. I don't have to struggle with this. I can just go sit down and be quiet. When I'm frustrated, I go meditate. When I'm trying to solve a problem, when I'm looking for a solution to something, I go meditate. Because what that does is it stops this side, the logical left brain, from thinking and going, well, let me do this, or maybe I can do this, or let me try that, and none of that stuff works. And it puts me into this space of calm and quiet and peace, and I'm not thinking about anything. Now, the answer may not come at the time that you're meditating, but the answer will come. Because again, what it does is it puts you in a state of relaxation. It opens you up to receiving answers, to receiving. You go into receiving mode. You go into the mode where things will come to you. And you become peaceful, and you become quiet, and you become calm. Even if it's just for a few minutes, that's all it takes. It doesn't take long. And when you get up and go into your day, and then you just go into your day like normal, you will find that things will start popping up around you or happening around you that are answering questions or giving you solutions to things that you've been looking for answers or solutions for. So for instance, you're trying to figure out you want to write a book, and say you got writer's block and you can't come up with the next part of the story. When you meditate, you release that need to have to come up with that part of the story, and you relax, and you allow yourself to just move into this space of just calm and quiet and peace. And then what you find is you'll be up doing something, washing dishes, talking to somebody, taking a walk in the park, playing with somebody like your child or a grandchild. You'll find yourself doing something else, and all of a sudden, bam, it'll pop in, and you'll be like, oh my God, really? That's all I have to do? Like, that's been there all the time. I could have done that a long time ago. But you didn't think about it. Why didn't you think about it? The answers are always with you. They're always around you. You have every single thing you need at every given moment of your day and in your life to manage through, to solve, and to resolve any issue you might ever have. But you don't see it because you're so wrapped up in thinking that you don't just sit back and let it come. Some things have to go through a process before they resolve themselves, because Not only are they trying to show you or teach you something or give you a message, but there's a message for the other people that are involved. There's a message for the other people that are watching or observing. You're not the only person that's receiving a message in that situation. So understand that when issues arise, and they don't always have to be issues, it could be anything. When things arise, just remember that you're not the only player in the game. There's other players. You need to understand something from it. The other person needs to understand something from it, or people. The people who are observing need to understand something from it. You're influencing a lot of people around you. It's a ripple effect. And even though you don't realize you have an impact in everybody else's life or other people's lives, you do. You really do. And again, I think that understanding comes from a sense of self-worth. When you understand that you are important, you are just as worthy, you are just as loved as anybody else. God, source, whatever you want to call it, does not love somebody else any more than it loves you. And it's not a male or a female, it's energy. It is love energy. And you are loved just as much. You are worth just as much. You're worth it because you exist. Otherwise, you wouldn't exist. Do you think that you would really be here if you weren't worth anything? You are worth everything to the universe, to God, to Source. That's why you're here. Your beingness impacts the world around you because you are the common denominator in your world. And so just understand you're worth it. Meditation helps you feel that sense of self-worth. If you've never felt worthy, if nobody's ever told you that you're worthy, and you don't need to hear it from somebody else, but if you feel that you do and you haven't, meditation will give you that sense of self-worth. It will fill any void that you may have. It really does. And you'll start to find that the more you do it, the more you'll see that you've always had and been everything that you ever wanted to have and be the entire time you have lived. It gives you a sense of peace. It gives you a sense of knowing. It gives you a sense of honoring yourself. It gives you a sense of honoring other people. It helps you understand other people's lives. It helps you understand, and I don't mean understand it from their perspective, but it helps you understand that we're all here going through what we go through for a reason. There's a purpose in all of it. And just because you don't know that person's purpose doesn't matter. The purpose you need to understand and the person you need to understand is you. It teaches you to master you. When you master yourself, you got it. Because everything else in your world that revolves around you, that relates to you, will shift and change and show you that. Everything right now is showing you who you are. You might not realize it. You might not understand how, but it is. Everything that you do and you think and you feel is reflecting back in your life in some way through another person, another place, events, whatever. Meditation helps you to get into that space, to have that clarity and to understand what that is. Why am I arguing with this person? Why am I in conflict with this particular thing? Why do I feel the way I feel about my job? Why am I feeling, worthless? Why do I feel like I need this $1 million home? Why do I feel like I need to have all this money, right? It helps you get to the core of you. It really does. And it helps you to understand your life and what drives your life so much clearer. And it just makes life so easy. It makes things flow so much easier. The benefits, that's one, an easier life. You sleep better. Oh my God, sleep? Come on. If you don't sleep well, try meditating consistently for 30 days. You'll see, you'll start to sleep really well. when things happen in your life, and it doesn't mean that there won't be any challenges, but it does mean that when those challenges come, they will be more manageable. They won't feel so bumpy. It's like the difference between riding in a Cadillac or in a luxury vehicle, that when you hit a bump, you barely notice it, to riding in something that's not so luxury and that's really bumpy, and you feel every single bump as you go down the street. That's the difference. It's the difference between feeling like everything is coming at you and hitting you and knocking you over, to everything is coming at you and you just kind of take it in stride and you know how to respond, and you see it for what it really is, not for what your eyes are telling you it is, but for what in a deeper way, in a deeper sense, you know what it is. And so it makes you better able to respond, which is where responsibility, the word responsibility, comes from. It's the ability to respond. That's what responsibility means. It's not a heavy burden. It just means that I am capable of responding to whatever comes in the best way possible for me and for everyone else involved, or everything else involved. So it really gives you a sense of peace. It really puts you in this state of calm and understanding, and it resolves so much for you. It makes life so much easier. You do not have to struggle. You don't. You're not alone. But you got to go in. You got to go in and find that out. So take a chance. Try it. That's one of the services I offer. If you feel like you can't do it on your own consistently, if you feel like you need support to do it, by all means, please check it out. Go to herbalessence.com, www.herbalessence.com. Check it out. Join a session. I'll be doing, and I'll put up the schedule, but I'll be doing some free 10-minute sessions once every other week, early in the morning. So if you don't get up early, you're going to have to join me for this one. I'll be doing them at 6 o'clock in the morning. And so just join and try to start. Just start. You never know how beneficial it can be until you try it for yourself. I can tell you, somebody else who does it can tell you, but nothing tells you like doing it for yourself and proving to yourself that this is what it does for me. And I've never guaranteed anything to anybody, but I will guarantee that if you meditate for 30 days straight, consistently, without miss and without fail, you will notice something. You will notice a shift. You will notice a change in you. And then you'll notice that change around you. You will be amazed, in the least, and astounded, beyond belief. It makes a difference. It makes a difference, and it can really change your life. I wouldn't say it. I've been doing it for over 37 years. There's so many different kinds of meditation out there, I know, but let me tell you, just simply sitting and being, and if you want to use a guided meditation, use that. If you don't, use whatever, go for a walk in nature, whatever works for you, but try doing it every day, consistently. Don't think, don't go. People say set intentions. The only intention you want to have when you start, is to just, I intend to find a space of neutrality and peace. That's it. That's it. You don't need to think about anything. You don't need to don't try to make something happen. Just, my intent is to go within and find that place, that space of neutrality and peace. That's it. And then get up and go about your day. Start with 5 minutes. Work up. Do it for a month. Start with 5 minutes. Go to 10 minutes. Go to 15 minutes. And then go to 20 minutes in the last week. And again, like I said, if you feel like my mind is all over the place and I keep thinking, join one of the meditation sessions that I do. Join one. I will talk you through it. I will talk you through some of the challenges that you're having. I will talk you through any questions that might arise. I will talk you through how to work through those thoughts that keep coming and coming and coming in your mind, not quieting down, I can help you work through any of those. Um, I have been doing it long enough, and trust me, I can work you through any issues you might have when you're trying to start out doing it. Even after you've been doing it for many years, like me, you'll have days where it'll be difficult to concentrate. You'll have days. You're human. That's how we're built, right? But they won't be many. They'll be far and few between. And on those days, I've got solutions that'll help you, shift those as well. So, there's no barrier you can't overcome or cross. None. Try it. 30 days. And leave a message. If you try it, leave a message on the page, on my Herbal Essence page, or shoot an email. My contact information is on the website. Let me know how it went for you. Try it. Let me know how it went. Honestly, try it, and let me know how it went for you. And then, like I said, if you need help or you need assistance, by all means, go to the website, sign up for a session. I'm more than happy to work with you and happy to show you how it works and how it can work for you in your life. So again, that's it. Thank you so much for joining for Face to Face on the Couch Part 2, Self-Love Meditation. Next week, I'm going to have a guest. So that's going to be interesting. The talk will be interesting. By all means, please join us. You don't want to miss this one. 7 p.m. Wednesday, Face to Face on the Couch. We're going to have a guest. See y'all soon. Bye.